All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. Again, Happy New Year 2025. We have a few trendy stories around the world for you. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We're literally one follower away from being able to go live on Facebook again. So we're at 99. Also on YouTube, we need you to help us share, subscribe. We're at 266 subscribers. We need 1,000 subscribers in order to monetize the platform. It will help us go even further in terms of our reach. We're at 2,500 watch hours. Obviously, the more you share, the more that can get to the required 4,000 hours as well. We appreciate you. We've come a long way. All right. So thank you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Welcome a man of two powerful roles, publisher of SharpEdgeNews.com and High Chief Odokwetu of Ajayi Obasa, Ondo State. Whether in the newsroom or the kingdom, he's always a sharp edge ahead. Give it up for the legend, Oladimeji Abitogun. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Ola. It's so good, and it's so good to be back. And I join you in appealing to our viewers all over the world, wherever, to do the needful, push on that button, to like us, to subscribe to us, to share us. And that means you are part of the history of the making of this great platform. It's our community, it's the community. Let's make it happen. We can take it to all the heights that you desire with us. Again, thank you for being part of what we do.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. So I guess without any further ado, we're just going to dive right into today's special. You have quite a few special to talk about today. And I can't wait. I want to hear it. I know you got some things going on for today. Shall we?
Yeah. Thank you for everybody who loves royal tradition and who loves traditional royalty, African royalty. It's a great day for the people of Yoruba nation, close to 60 million of all over the world. Talking of Southwest Nigeria, talking of places in Benin Republic, talking of some places in Togo, Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, the diaspora all over. You have Yoruba forming part of of this life consciousness. So, what makes it a great day for us? The symbol of Yoruba political leadership, the Alaafin of Oyo, after almost 2 years of the throne being vacant, was finally installed, was proclaimed and installed this morning, given the instrument of appointment and staff of office by no other person other than the executive governor of Oyo State, in person of Mr. Seyi Makinde, a certified engineer and politician of note. But he wasn't acting just as a politician or as a political leader. He was acting in his capacity as provided for by the chieftaincy laws of Oyo State. This morning, he pronounced somebody who was known before coming on the throne as Prince Abimbola Akeem of Wade, now will be referred to as His Majesty. On purpose, we decided to remove the imperial. Anyway, we decided to put it His Majesty, the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Abimbola Akim Owade, somebody whose great forebear, his forefather or his great grandfather, decided to act in dignity, in honor, decades back by yielding his choice of coming on the throne because it was a popular choice. The people of Oyo clamored for him because of his mental magnitude, his gracious spirit. They said he was the one they wanted, that great grandfather. But humbly, he turned down the offer and he decided to give that choice for his elder brother, who was known as Alaafin Ladigboro the first. And over and over, that family, the Owade, was almost pushed into oblivion, into extinction. Nobody reckoned with them until this year. And you would understand, please bear with me 1 second, the injustice that had been visited on that royal family, that critical section of the two royal families that have the exclusive opportunity of coming on the throne as Alaafin of Oyo. And now everybody knew, and in most chieftaincy declarations, including that of Alayede of Ayede Ogbese or the Deji of Akure, wherever, every male child in the family should be presented. Because at some point in history, it used to be heir apparent, but because of certain incidents that we will not go into, that was outlawed by the government of Dr. Victor Omololu Olunloyo, the governor who came to office in 1983 in Oyo State. So the thought of anybody being apparent was removed, and all male children in the royal family would be presented. And in this case, they were presented, but they were going to play the usual game. The Owade were again going to be sidelined and sidetracked and probably consigned into total forgetfulness. But they spoke up that no, they did not come as a sub-unit of Ladigboro. They stand in as a major plank of the royal threshold in Oyo. And so the governor of Oyo State, Mr. Ajayi Makinde, invited notable Ifa scholar. Ifa is spiritual divination. It's almost like what Israelites of what we call Urim. And in other civilizations, the Dibia in Igbo land, they were the custodians of something similar to Ifa, the Babalawo. So they called this well-educated Ifa man, Professor Wande Abimbola, by the way, a former distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And let me tell you, he also married somebody from Ayede, who grew up in Ayede Ogbese, our big mommy, Auntie Mori, the daughter of Baba Animotu, who so many people knew as Animotu in Ayede Ogbese in those days. So this man went into consultation with Ifa, and Ifa picked then Prince Abimbola Akim Owade, but a section of the Oriyomi, that is the kingmakers in Oyo, decided to go for pecuniary gain. They got tainted, and they were rooting for millions from another well-to-do candidate to the stool. And so all the face-off started, and the politics and the mudslinging. All are we still together?
Yes, absolutely.
Ultimately, Governor Seyi Makinde decided to waive the executive one, and he gave sanction to what Ifa said. That's the journey of this illustrious prince of Yoruba land to the ultimate throne, the prized throne of Oyo, Alaafin of Oyo. That is the Lord of the palace. That is the meaning of Alaafin of Oyo. And he has so many praises, part of which is Ikú Bàbá Yèyé, ọmọ ikú tí ikú ò gbọdọ̀ pa, ọmọ òfò tó fò gbọdọ̀ ṣe, ọmọ àrùn tí àrùn gbọdọ̀ ṣe. You want me to bring that back to English expression? Yes. The son of death that cannot be afflicted by death. The son of diseases or sickness that will not be sick. And the ultimate loss that can never lose. Second in command, only to supreme God. And I joined thousands of others to proclaim him as the majesty, Kábíyèsí. And this is a big lesson elsewhere. In Ajayi Ogbese, the ultimate greedy kingmaker is shuttling here and there, wasting time and collecting money from people whom he knows do not really have any claim to the throne. I mean, everybody going to school, somebody sits idly back in town. You say all kinds of trouble. Even when government officials come to town, he will lead insurrections against them. Not because he has legitimate reasons to be militant, but just because that is the pastime he chose. And that is the person they want to bring on the throne. And really, this person is just to act as a proxy for somebody who was parading himself as heir apparent, and for an Olori who continues to garb herself like the regent to the vacant stool. Of course, ultimately, we know that there are credible governors in Yoruba land, in southwestern Nigeria, and the constitution and the declaration would stand in the gap for the people who, at this time, really need somebody that is credible, that will act in integrity as the Alayede of Ajayi Ogbese. We take it one notch further. The Nigerian Correctional Service continues to signal that Nigeria is making some radical and remarkable departure from its inglorious past, where jailbreak and all kinds of atrocities, compromises will be reached in order to expose Nigerians to insecurity. Now, the new Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, in person of Sylvester Ndidi Nwapuche, is moving around assuring the officers and all the people there, and including inmates, that the playing field will be leveled this time around. Is assuring of welfare, not just for the workers there, but also for inmates. For example, as against them, long known history. This last Christmas and New Year was celebrated, making sure that they got their pay very early into the festive period. Ahead of that, he has consulted widely with deputy comptrollers, assistant comptroller generals, deputy comptrollers general, assistant comptrollers general from all over Nigeria, even this morning. And then they still were able to put that together in time, letting them know that a new sheriff is in town. From there, he went to the National Assembly to defend the budget for this year. He almost met an empty treasury, but wherever he's been, he has a way of turning things around. And so the table is turning around, serving assurances that all outstanding propositions and recommendations concerning how to make the service carry on in an humane fashion would be executed, would be implemented. And from our interactions so far, we know that people like Fisayo Soyombo, the Nigerian investigative journalist who has penetrated the walls of the correctional service will be invited to the table to bring constructive suggestions on how to make this move better. And from there, let us go to Akoko Northeast Local Government of Ondo State, where Honorable Mutiu Olawale Mohammed is being touted as somebody that has been picked by the minister, the Honorable Minister of Interior for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in person of Mr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, as the man who would likely wear the crown or who would wear the big shoes to become the chairman of Akoko Northeast Local Government, that is Ikare Akoko, come this weekend, Saturday, January 18, 2025. Not just him, even the member House of Representatives there, Honorable Ife Eyidero support group, and youth, women, they reached out to SharpEdgeNewsTV and .com. They said, this is the man that must continue the good work, that having been put in charge of the affairs of the local government by the governor of Ondo State, is carried on well, and they want him to carry on. And we have sampled opinion. If that is what the people there want, all we are saying is that there must be a free and fair election. Nothing should be manipulated to suggest that something is being forced down the throat of the people. Let democracy work for Nigerians. And finally, on this on this special segment of our report, we noticed that Nigerians all over the world, they are saying there must be something great, a great deal, a new deal in this democracy for all of us, home and abroad. They will want a drastic situation, a radical situation, departure from the past, in which both people in Nigeria, Nigerians on the African continent, and world over will be able to join others in the Committee of Nations to make sure that we also are counted and our votes count when it comes to choosing an enduring working leadership for our country. This is not too big for anybody to ask for. After all, Nigeria, they say, like we also believe, is our motherland. So when you lift it and I lift it, Nigeria will be better for all of us. Our report tonight. Again, we say, Kábíyèsí Toríadé, the Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́, in Akure consciousness and Ekiti consciousness, we will greet him. Agbogbomoja, Owo Maslasheju lórí, Editi War. Welcome on the throne, Kábíyèsí. Our report.
All right, Kábíyèsí to the new Kábíyèsí. Congratulations to the new Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. Can you hear me clearly, sir?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right, great. All right, awesome. So welcome back. Welcome back. Like, we have some other trendy stories around the world. That was a very sharp special. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into that, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back. We're talking about this Ibadan Stampede story. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start from. This Ibadan.
Start somewhere. Start from somewhere.
I know. But I'm gonna read this special report. Maybe even too special. I'll give you like a quick brief parts of the special story. So this is about the Olori, the former Olori of the Ooni of Ife, and the journalist Oriyomi Amzat. So I'm looking at the report here. This was from earlier today on Punch Nigeria. It says Oyo files. So speaking of Oyo, we're just talking about Oyo installing Alaafin for Oyo. But this same drama is also going on in Oyo at the same time. Oyo files murder charges against Oni's ex-queen and others. The Oyo State government has filed 8 counts bordering on murder and manslaughter against the ex-queen of the Oni of Ife, Naomi Shilakunla, the proprietor of an Ibadan-based radio station, Oriyomi Hamzat, and the principal of Islamic High School, Basharun Ibadan, Abdullahi Fasasi, over the December 18th, 2024 Funfair stampede, during which 35 children died. All right, so they just filed that, I guess, recently. Been locked up since then. Just in case you are not aware of the original story, there was a giveaway festival of some sort that was supposed to happen in Badon. They were expecting 5,000 children. Some children started to climb the fence, courtesy of their parents, trying to get into the venue. But there was a stampede and a bunch of children. Some people said 70 children, some people said 35 children. They passed away, but ever since then, they've been locked up. They were behind bars during Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So that's the first report. Then in another report, right, they're saying that they've granted them bail. Okay, so I'm looking at Gazette Nigeria. They said court grants Oni's ex-wife, Naomi Oriyomi, 10 million naira bail. The Oyo State High Court has granted the former wife of Oni of Ife, the same peoples, right? And the broadcaster.
And when people point to the granting of bail, I hope they understand that that system itself is not something that runs its entire gamut until the conditions of that bill or the terms of the bail terms are fulfilled. So let nobody.
Right, exactly.
Let nobody pick some drum of joy or celebration, thinking, oh, they are now out of custody. The terms would have to
are they out of custody now?
I'm not yet sure. But
okay, we're not sure.
Look at the amended charges, the charges that have been preferred against them, almost 18 altogether. You will go back to the points being considered ab initio that.
So before we go to that, I want to give you this statements from the ruling of the bail application today, and then you can take it from there.
Right.
So delivery ruling on the bail application on Monday, Justice Kamorudin Olawoyin admitted
the proper way as a broadcaster.
Olawoyin admitted the ex-queen and her co-defendant to 10 million naira bail each with 2 reliable sureties. Mr. Olawoyin said the magistrate court lacked jurisdiction to hear the case due to the murder charge contained in the charge sheet. He said there was no place for holding charges in the Constitution, and keeping them in custody would amount to an infringement on their rights. The judge said the stampede was not a premeditated act, so the defendants were entitled to bail. The judge directed that the defendants submit their international passports to the court and not grant any press interview on print, on social media during the trial. I just wanted to give you that before you go and give your statement. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much. What the point I was trying to make is that ab initio, everybody has thought, oh, Mr. Oriyomi would carry on with some measure of indignation or sense of entitlement because of his perceived closeness to the governor of Oyo State. If you go, by what we said in our introductory report, we said the sense of fairness demonstrated by Governor Seyi Makinde concerning the selection process of the Alaafin of Oyo would also signal one thing that, okay, this man is implementing whatever he's doing in office as somebody who is mindful of his oath of office. doing anything that would suggest that, oh, is giving undue advantage to anybody, maybe because of perceived closeness or whatever. So if he has upheld impartiality in the case of Alaafin of Oyo, now from what we have seen, the charges being amended, everybody that thought, oh, because Hamzat Oriyomi, with due respect, because whether he is engulfed now or not, anybody will give it to Hamzat Oriyomi, particularly his heroic conduct concerning the murder of Mr. Adegoke. Remember that man that was killed at a so-called Hilton hotel in
Right.
Ilefe,
Yes,
and
yes.
the whole thing was pinned on the owner, the well-known owner, Prince Adedoyi of Ilefe. So the fact that that man could champion, call for justice for the late Adegoke would also let us, give us that benefit of the doubt that he is not taking it for granted that automatically the governor would switch support for him. He did well at some point in the past, but people now are saying, well, he is somebody who has carried on with some air of arrogance and condescension and what have you. Things happen in life. It is not our place in the media to begin to pass all kinds of what's it called? Judgment, especially since the court has not made any pronouncement. But what we're saying here is that demonstrably, if anybody thinks this is going to be some easy ride, not just for former Olori Naomi, everybody continues to say, oh, Queen of Ife. No. Just because there is a king, the wife does not automatically become a queen.
Right.
She is known in Yoruba land as Olori. Let
Right.
nobody bring what a well-known associate in Ayede Ogbese has been doing. She's not queen. It's not equivalent of a queen. She's just queen consort. Simple.
Queen
If it's a
consort.
man, queen consort. That is the meaning of Olori in English. So people should speak proper grammar and not come and cause confusion. You cannot bifurcate the throne, because you have a king, so automatically the wife must translate to a queen. Where was she installed as such? She was never installed as such. But because, what's it called? Chest will be thumping chest because of conjugal connection and ties and connections. She's just queen consort. So anybody thinking, having that wishful thought that, oh, this is going to be an easy path because of the connection to
the Oni.
No, Oni does not also want to be scandalized. Nobody, yes, because when this happens to the children of the poor, nobody ever even gives it a second thought before pronouncements are made. So, and in the eyes of the law, whether in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, is about equality of souls, translating to equality before the law. The law that governs the strong and influential is the same that also takes care of common folks like you and I. That said, the days ahead would show if the process will be fair, if it will be just, and if justice will be served to the memory of the young ones, that is, their children, almost, maybe about 35 or more of them who lost their lives in the stampede. I do not want to rehash what we have already reported. Like, somebody having just 5,000, provision for 5,000 people and then going ballistic on an influential medium like Agidigbo, and then people from everywhere started trooping into that Islamic school. And we were told, the principal had said, no, through a memo in black and white. Ultimate approval should be given for days through appropriate government office. But they said, having a sense of entitlement, Mr. Oriyomi decided to act as an authority unto himself. We do not know. We cannot jump into conclusions. But one thing we know is that we will follow the facts wherever they lead. Just like all of us in the media did when Mr. Abzat Oriyomi was going after Adegoke. And going after the matter of Adegoke, going after Adedoyin, and let nobody in Adedoyin camp begin to rejoice. Oh, he did this, because when you see corrupt and fraudulent people, that is what they do when things happen to people in the media. Like the judge has indicated, this is well above the magistrate's pay grade, and that is the law. It's the fact of the law in Nigeria. Magistrate or magistrate courts do not try murder cases, period. And it has moved to a court of higher jurisdiction, in this case, the High Court. They will do their job. We will hear the pronouncements when things find out. We don't want to join the madding crowd that will be speculating around what we all know nothing about as ordinary folks. We will leave that to the lawyers and Nigeria's criminal code. That said, I suggest that we continue to watch events unfold. But so far, so good. The rich and the influential also cry.
So I have a couple of concerns that I want to say about this before we move on to the next story.
Yeah.
This is just my own authentic, because I'm not following all the way, but I kind of get the gist, right?
Yeah.
People set up an event, right? And a bunch of people decided to evade the venue ahead of the scheduled time. That's what I'm getting. Unless now this is what I'm trying to find out now. Unless they have been found to have some ulterior motives, or maybe they are sacrificing people, or they are, like the court said, some kind of premeditated situation. We don't have any of this.
Yeah.
So why is this not treated as a public mishap, where we know in Nigeria that typically there will be a problem with regards to if emergency services were called, they probably didn't show up on time. We know that this is a common thing in Nigeria. We also know that, yes, they probably are trying to improve on that. But the point is that there was a public mishap, an accident, a crazy accident that happened. Why are the organizers locked up for weeks in a row? And then they're talking about the idea of murder charge when, in fact, there's no premeditated situation being found out. There's no investigation. I guess they're investigating now. But what am I missing here? This doesn't make any sense to me.
What you and I may be missing here is the fact that there ought to have been requisite arrangements in place to mitigate what is a disaster which everybody felt was avoidable. Now, you will be talking of culpable homicide. Yes, it may not be with an intent to do that, but when you fail to put in place the appropriate arrangement,
measures for a crowd like that, I understand that part, right? Is that what you're saying? I understand that part, but it's still the idea. The worst they could come up with is manslaughter. Why is there murder coming into this conversation? Is my
for anything to be so weighty that it would require being seen as manslaughter. I mean, you understand that lots of life must have been involved, whether advertently or inadvertently, knowingly or unknowingly. Now, the point here is this: if these people are going to be charged, how about the government that also made the condition right?
Thank you. That's part of my questions.
Yeah, for such initiatives to come from a private individual. So maybe anybody, whoever really wants to seek after the truth or the light in this matter should also be asking questions that, okay, the people responsible, the institutions responsible for foisting hunger.
Mm-hmm.
One, inadequacy on Nigerians. Why are they not being made to answer today? At least, to some extent, there ought to be some public hearing on this through the various lawmaking bodies and ombudsmen, public complaint commissions, and what have you. But here is the situation. Somebody was not supposed to advertise that people should be coming at about 5 a.m.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, I don't want to put anything on Mr. Abzat Oriyomi. I want to really give him.
But they announced. But they announced that. They announced that. Is that what you're saying?
He himself was said to have suggested the idea of people coming at 5 a.m.
Come early so you can get something.
We don't know what.
Also, you can get inside. Mm-hmm.
It's just that people should come. He himself came very late. He came very late. If you see the double standard that is involved in some of these things, but don't let us go there, because if we go, we will be crossing a certain line.
Okay.
I'm
patiently waiting because
I don't want us to carry out the equivalent of what would be seen as a media lynch.
Yeah, right. I'm patiently waiting. It just doesn't add up for me yet. That's all.
It doesn't. It really looks like that, but lives were lost. These were glory.
But that so sorry, sir. The fact that lives were lost will not be the first, second, third, or last time that happens in Nigeria.
If we take that part, please wait. If we take that part, that option you want to embrace there, please.
No. I promise I'm not going that direction.
Just wait. This is one tragedy too many. Simple.
No, I'm not going. I promise I wasn't going that direction. I promise.
Yeah, I do not want it to look like we are minimizing. Oh, it's been happening. So why is this?
No. I promise I wasn't going that direction.
Okay.
The point I was making there. The point I was making there is that there are so many things going on. There's so many faults with Nigerian systems that unfortunate situation like that continues to happen, and we need to address them from an institutional and systemic standpoint. This seems
coming back to the way all of us now see it.
So this seems like it's a witch hunt on these particular individuals. That's what I'm getting at. So it's sad. It's sad that happened, but in order to prevent that from happening, because it's one too many, right? We need to address this from a standpoint of institutional and systemic issues.
Yes, not even that. That culture of impunity, for example, why would a stadium be filled all because they want people to come and pick applications for serving in the immigration service? At the end of the day, people died. The minister,
exactly,
who was behind it, who was the mastermind, and the entire thing was driven by objectives of fraud and corruption. People who have never made anything in their lives were being taxed, so to say, extorted to drop certain amount of money, pick application form, and it's not even certain if they will be given employment. At the end of the day, many of them died. Nothing happened. We can recount several instances, even in the wake of this stampede in Ibadan. Another happened at the Catholic Church premise in Abuja. Another one at Okija. And so on and so forth. It's got to, there has got to be a start to that kind of craze and madness. But first, it has to come from the government that made bad laws, bad rules, removing subsidy, and then totaling the economy, and everything went into casket.
So we've got, thank you, sir. We've got about 2 more stories to cover in the next 20 minutes. But before we go into that, I want to give you like an ideal situation, right? So a young, a gospel artist, a popular gospel artist from Nigeria. His name is Tosin B. He was in our church 2 nights ago. Our church will comfortably sit maybe 50 people, comfortably, right? If you want to be really comfortable, maybe 45, right? But that place was jam-packed because it's a popular guy who also posted on the social media that he was around. So the place was jam-packed, It's probably some overflow situation, God forbid if something had happened, right? So people were standing all the way through in terms of his performance, his delivery, for like 2-3 hours. So we have normally we have like a policeman, an officer that stands by the door on a normal service day, right? That stands by the gate just to make sure that people are passing, parking lot, and all that kind of stuff. Normally we have that, but as soon as I pulled into the church that day, I noticed that they had another extra hand, people that were not called before, but the police was hanging out at the very corner of the church premises, just in case. So even though, because the police could see that there was a abnormal number of cars parked, and so instead of harassing people, the police just kind of like stood by, right? If anything had happened, the first people they would have asked is that where were the public service people, police, firemen? If anything looks crazy, why didn't you answer to it? They would have done an investigation as opposed to, oh, let's pick up the pastor and let's go and lock him up first for the next 2 to 3 weeks. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yes,
Because there wasn't.
But thank God.
So if it comes out to, if it comes out to become, oh, he breached the rules, he cut corners, he did not do what he was supposed to do to get the proper permit, then they might end up picking it up for real in that manner, right? Like, did he have any ulterior motive? But Nigeria go the other way around.
All I know, Nigeria
Okay.
did not go the other way around.
I'm listening, sir.
Please.
First of all, quick shout out to Life with Natu and Mr. Bello Tawo. Thanks for being in the chat. I appreciate you. Said greetings to you, sir, and from Ondo State. Shout out to Mr. Bello Tawo.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please let them know I'm sending my best wishes and appreciation. Now,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you, all that you have said should have been done in Nigeria. For example, when the school principal allegedly wrote to Mr. Oriyomi, see, I'm restraining myself not to go the full org because I do not want to carry out, as an experienced journalist, I do not want to be involved in what will be like trying stuff before.
You don't want to prosecute or convict them online.
Yes, because I've been in a situation before during the trial of J.T. Usteni before the Code of Conduct Tribunal in Nigeria. I run the entire confession of J.T. Usteni, and that almost threw me into prison for like 3 months because the tribunal chairman was threatening fire and brimstone. I do not want to go there. So what I'm telling you, and you know the fallout of that entire thing for me, and how it radically changed my life, almost got killed. But I do not want to go that route this time around. The point I'm telling you is that when that school principal wrote to Amzat Oriyomi, pushing back, oh, you must go to the Ministry of Education to get approval for this, that he did not do it. That in itself has opened up.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yes, yes.
He has opened himself for that kind of thing. People have approached us, campaign in support of Oriyomi. I said we will not do that. We will not do that because for too many people, for too many whatever. You see, people try to look at journalism as a kind of cause of influence. When things happen to other people, we are quick to report. It happens to us, we are reluctant. We have seen it too often. Same thing for people in the law profession. They behave as if, lawyers, and I'm a lawyer in training, and I'm mindful of what I'm saying. Sometimes lawyers behave as if they are above the law. So many people do this in Nigeria. Any opportunity you give to them, EFCC officials, they think, they are above the law. It cannot continue like that. And that is why I congratulate your pastor. If anything untoward had happened, this is America. Ola, let me tell you, this system will prop people up, and it knows how to drop people down. And all this, this will not even be subject of any public debate. You will just see people.
I guess I'm saying the accountability, to check for accountability, will go in so many directions rather than just.
That's right.
Personal.
And that is the same thing we are saying. Like I said, the government have made that bad pronouncement that led to hunger in Nigeria, and then a Naomi. Naomi herself who rose from hunger now is promising what is above our pay grade. to helpless citizens and little children. Can you imagine that? They themselves must be
Right.
questioned.
So
That's what we are
the
saying.
accountability must go. It must go in this. I guess
Must
it has to
all
go in this direction.
it
Yeah.
must yeah in
Yeah.
all directions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I'm waiting for okay, firefighters, policemen, public services, people that offer this kind of permits in the first place, people that also enforce it, people that make sure if you see 5,000 people
Exactly.
entering one
Yes,
place,
that's
who-
that. Yeah, it's me. Indeed, it is right for you to ask
yeah.
those questions, for us to ask those questions. That is why
Okay.
we say this must expand beyond Abzat Oriyomi, Naomi, or Mr. Fasasi, the school principal, who is
Yes,
now
exactly. Exactly.
caught in the net of all this planlessness. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. Please hit the like button, join the conversation because I'm very sure I was completely off with this conversation, but I'm here to learn. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We have some other stories around the world. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Lagos lawmakers impeach Obasa amid scandal. I'm looking at a report here on People's Gazette. Some kind of Naira fraud stuff. Okay, I'm just going to read a little bit, then maybe you can bring us up to speed because so you had a little special to share with us around this as well. Mr. Obasa was subsequently replaced by his deputy Lasbat Miranda. Mrs. Miranda, who represents Apapa Constituency 1, was also a former chief whip of the House. The removal came days after the Gazette reported how Mr. Obasa oversaw the withdrawal of 43.5 billion naira for backup vehicles for lawmakers as well as other controversial activities. People Gazette understands that Mr. Obasa was in Atlanta when he was impeached. Oh, interesting. Anyway, I'm going to hand it over to you from there. I think you were following this story.
Please, you want to remind me of the first name of Honorable Obasa?
Honor his first name. Obasa. Is it Obasa? Obasa. Obasa.
Obasa.
Obasa. Is it Mudashiru?
Mudashiru
Mudashiru.
Obasa. Yes.
Aha, Mudashiru. Yep. Yep. It's a
Thank you so
52-year-old man, a Nigerian
much.
lawyer, politician who served as the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly from
He's been on the saddle
2015. 10
he's
years.
been on he's been on the saddle for 10 years. Between him and the former speaker, Mr. Pelumi, I do not know because that one also seemed like somebody who was there for 10 years. But by how many months, how many weeks, how many days, we do not know who between them has served the longest. But the point must be made that when we hear of all these uh, shadows and substance in politics, we must really learn not to be sucked in, not to be taken for a sucker by politicians. Because what is being sold to the public will be may not be in agreement, may not be in concordance with what actually transpired between them. Politicians, for example, there have been a situation in which Mudashiru Obasa has been said to be nursing the ambition of becoming the successor to the man at Alausa, that is the governor of the state.
Sanwo-Olu.
Sanwo-Eko. That's right. Is it really carrying on in a manner that suggests that this man owns Sanwo-Eko? And probably he is. You and I may not be able to draw that conclusion because this is an exchange of ideas between him and his political associates and surrogates. But at some point, right to the face of the governor, Obasa was alleged to have made a, a most insensitive statement saying that, oh, he is eminently qualified to be the future governor of Lagos State. After all, some people have been in that office that are not more qualified than him. And that a lot of people felt was spiteful towards the incumbent governor when he said that day. And from that moment, he'd become a madman. So if today it's been, because ahead of this, there had been all kinds of speculation. At a time when the ultimate political godfather in Lagos, President Bola Tinubu himself, was in town, they had series of marathon meetings with him, where he was pleading and trying to see if they could mend fences and what have you. What we may not be able to say precisely is whether but really, I don't even want to go that far. It would not have been a success. Whoever the father, like they would say in ancient Rome, referring to lawmakers or senators as the fathers of father of conspiracies or conspirators. These conspiracies or sets of conspiracies wouldn't have really been successful without the blessing of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, mind you. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
So,
you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. How bad could it have been? How bad could his conduct have been? Because people said he suffered for gladly, that he had this air of arrogance around him, and that. But one thing they have not taken away from him is the fact that he commanded a kind of presence in an unusual way as the presiding officer of the Lagos State House of Assembly. And really, everybody is saying that, he was impeached because of financial impropriety. From the report you read from Gazelle, did he buy all the backup vehicles for himself?
Well, here's let me read this to you. They say repeated charges of fraud and political thuggery have marked his speakership. In 2020, the Gazette published a series of investigations detailing how
where all these series published and all that, in 10 years, this man carried on with that kind of political brigandage. This is the point I'm making. What the undercurrent may be different from what they are telling the public. It's about shadow and substance. See, it's just time for them to sacrifice him. They have done that. They should shut up. And
so it's a liability, basically.
Yeah, they cannot turn their issues, their personal differences. We have seen it before. People fighting on the board of a company and then bringing that to political arena, and then everywhere was set on fire. Nigerians should, maybe we blame it on people who took away history from the curriculum of our schools or whatever. But people should learn from history. I've listened to so many people on this. One thing I know is that you may be too good for some people while serving in office. I have my own issues like that. A lot of people felt like, Odokwetu will not be compromised. Why don't we sacrifice him? And you think people who are saying, you are a decent man, you think all of them will be for you. By the way, even God repented creating human beings. So if the vast majority of human beings are incapable of doing good according to Jesus Christ, all these people castigating him, they did not reject those backup vehicles that he gave to them. Now they have suddenly risen.
I mean, before you could make it to that level,
10 years. He survived it. The point I'm making here is that Mudashiru Obasa should also look and afford himself some moments of self-defecation. For example,
are you saying he should go home peacefully?
No, he will sit in that assembly now. They have not you see, they have not said it's suspended from the House of Assembly. They have not said it's been expelled from the House of Assembly. They have not instigated the electors in his constituency to recall him. They have not done any of that. He should sit down there. He has led for 10 years. Now is the time for him also to sit down like an obedient classroom individual and just take the lesson of humility. You know, you may be on an upswing at some point. At some point, that pendulum too.
You'll be humbled.
That's right. It's an humbling experience. But would he be so humble as to take it in? I personally would love. I have had those moments in life. That I'm down. I'm learning something just about the nature of humans. Because everybody that is clapping yesterday, oh, you are the best speaker, you are this, you are that, you are distinguished, or you are the right honorable. Not all of them are for you. Some teachable moments, some moments for him to learn certain things about the dynamics of living and life. You understand this point? And for every other person that's been used to get this done, they also should watch out. It may be their turn.
It's coming for everybody. Everybody.
Fire next time. So, yeah. So, Mudashiru Obasa does not have my sympathy like that because politicians are capable of...
it's politics.
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds. Yeah. But for the people who are saying crucify him, we have succeeded at nailing him to the cross. Don't mind them. Some of them also sang Kumbaya and Hosanna for him or in his support before today.
All right. Please join the conversation in the chat. That was fun to listen to.
Yeah. And the good thing is that let us congratulate our women folks. Lagos has scored another point. Having
the deputy.
Yeah, having his first female speaker. That's a great one. But the last time we had a speaker in the National Assembly, House of Representatives, even for doing nothing, charges were trumped up against her. Years later, we were hearing she didn't do anything, just that the lawmakers wanted her sacrifice. I hope the story of this new speaker, the Right Honorable Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, will not go that way. We should allow people with genuine ideas to thrive. Let them survive that way. One piece at a time. We can save Nigeria. This is what I have to say about this moment. But very thoughtful and really sobering. And this has been happening so often in Lagos. We hope the center will be able to hold for some longer time. We don't want that place to break up in pieces. And for the Godfathers who find it so easy to change and interchange and exchange, they should watch out. They should watch out. This is all I've got to say.
All right, thank you. Please join the conversation. Even though we're at the top of the hour, we have one more story to cover, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. One Timileyin Ajayi caught with girlfriend's head in Nasarawa church, allegedly. There's Nigerians are reporting this everywhere. There's a report here actually on Punch Nigeria. This was going viral this morning, was trending everywhere. It says worshippers at a church in Orozo, a community that shared border with the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Orozo, and Nasarawa State on Sunday apprehended a man identified as Timileyin Ajayi, found carrying the decapitated head of his girlfriend in a poly bag during a church service. The incident has sent shockwaves through the community and across the internet as graphic pictures and videos of the suspect and the decapitated head of a young woman circulated widely online. The incident occurred around 11 a.m. during the Thanksgiving service marking the end of a 7-day fast. Speaking to Punch Online, the church's Bible study teacher and General Secretary Caleb Umaru recounted the event, and I quote, "It was almost the end of service around 11 a.m. during the final pledge and prayers. A church member, Bro Victor, opened his eyes during the prayers and saw someone passing by the river close to the church carrying a bag, and his movement was suspicious. That drew his attention. He called the attention of another brother, Brother Amos. Umaru explained, the two men found Ajayi sitting at the back of the church. When he saw them, he threw a black nylon bag into the river, Umaru said. Umaru explained that the river's water level was low because of the dry season. They inquired from him what he threw into the river, and he said nothing. After many questions that he didn't answer, they left him and went back, but didn't go into the church, Umaru stated. Shortly after, two bike men arrived. While they were discussing outside, the two bike men came and asked the brothers if they had seen anyone pass through, and they asked the bike men to describe the person they were looking for. When the description matched, they told the bike men that the person was at the back of their church and the guy was still sitting there, which I consider a miraculous intervention, Umaru said. One of the bikesmen said he picked the suspect up from a neighboring town, Lokotie, and he observed that blood was dripping from the bag he carried. The bike man questioned the suspect about the content of the bag, but the suspect asked to alight close to the church. The bike man, not wanting to confront the man alone, called another bike man to trace the suspect. The four men confronted Ajayi, asked him to retrieve the bag he had thrown into the river. As the situation unfolded, church members gathered outside, and the pastor was informed. He came out to join the group before returning to alert the congregation about the alarming situation. People came outside, and he was surrounded, and he was repeatedly asked to open the bag. Umaru said, Ajayi suddenly started running, and the men ran after him. Umaru added, it took the grace of God for the four men to be able to catch him. That's why you can see the video happened in a bushy area like a farm. He ran very far. The bike man started hitting his head with a stick from the church brothers, tried to stop the bike man from killing him because they wanted to follow the matter up. The guy was injured and was already weak and couldn't talk, and still no one knew what was in the bag. My pastor took a bike to go bring a policeman, but he couldn't find a police officer at the station until someone called the policeman to come, and that's why you can see in the video I shared one policeman interrogating him. In the video observed by Punch Online, the police officer in plain clothes asked him how long he had been dating the lady. He said like a year. Umaru further explained that the suspect was asked why he had knife cut on his hand, and he said he had an argument with his girlfriend. Umaru said the suspect narrated that he collected her phone and saw she was chatting with another guy, and they started dragging the phone, and the girlfriend used the knife to cut his hand, which led to the injury. He said he collected the knife and did the worst into her neck. I didn't want to read it out because of our YouTube.
That's right, yeah.
Someone went to open nylon bag in the church area, and someone came to report to us that it was a human head that was inside the nylon where we were, and people started rushing to go and see for themselves. Umaru stated, when asked why he was taking the head, he said one woman told them to bring the head for her. Umaru added, he said the girl is from around Mararaba, Nyanya, and he told Nyanya, and he doesn't know her relatives. Umaru told Punch Online that the police officer called other men from the police force, and they took over 30 minutes to arrive. They carried his body because he was lying down and almost half dead, and they put him in the police van. They also took the head, he said. The police van and the men of the police force were also seen in the video posted on Facebook. Netizens have identified Ajayi as a gospel singer, and Umaru confirmed that a friend from Lagos had mentioned his background as a gospel musician. However, Punch Online has not yet independently verified these claims. He was asked what job he was into, and he said he is into social media management and he is a content creator, Umaru said. Umaru could not confirm which police station the men came from. Punch Online initially contacted FCT Police Public Relations Officer Josephine Ade, as Orozo was presumed to fall under Abuja's jurisdiction. She clarified that the area is under Nasarawa State, redirecting the inquiry to the Nasarawa PPRO Rahman Nansel. However, attempts to reach Nansel were unsuccessful at the time of publication. Umaru said the incident has deeply shaken the church community. This was my first time seeing something like this physically. I only watch it. I have not seen something like this before. He said, this is all according to Umaru, right? So, but you know, Nigerians have gone to uncover his actual video of him singing gospel music in the actual music video. So, let's just put that out there.
Well,
But that's
like, this
it.
is sad. This is
Yeah.
sad. It is tragic. Um, and let me say that it's also uh, um, one other moment when the serenity and the peaceful ambience of Orozo. That's one place that I know very well.
Really?
Around, yes, I actually was there around the year 2000 to give a career talk at the technical college there, and yeah, they also have this prominent Loyola Jesuit uh, Catholic school there. You know, some of the students from that school were involved in the Sosoliso hair crash back then. Um, yeah, it's located around Karushi, in Karu local government area of Nasarawa State, just the borderline
I
between
see it's on the border. Yes.
yeah, borderline between Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and Nasarawa State. That said, this is a story I don't want us to really go into
Okay.
tonight, deeply into tonight, because for me, there is something challenging to our corporate or joint humanity about this thing. And this is happening over and over in Nigeria. You know where I stand when it comes to issues or speculations about ritual killing. I almost don't really know how blood stuff can be used to make anybody richer or poorer, how it can boost the fortune of anybody, other than a lie that is being sold from the pit of hell as to, yeah, vague and vain, empty promises of riches, earthly wealth. And even when Jesus Christ himself was taken right to the pinnacle of the temple and was asked to take a bow before Satan so that all the glory and whatever of this world will be given to him, he shut the devil up, shut him off. So in our time and age, this, you know, the saddest thing for me,
Yeah.
as a Yoruba man, that name,
Timileyin.
and
Ajayi.
Ajayi, you know, more often, yeah, this is known, I mean, about everybody in Nigeria, every tribe in Nigeria. But really, when you remember that Isheni Ogunse, you work hard. That is the panacea for all your toil. And we are beginning to lose our Omoluabi. You see, that thing about us as Yoruba people. And then now we turn to all strange contraptions in order to become wealthy or to become rich or anything that we want to do. And outside, the ultimate feeling of betrayal. One's girlfriend, one's lover, one's wife or spouse, man or no. There is something about this that shows that many of us just go around in the clothing of human beings. Yet, in there, we are worse than wolves and beasts of the field. That is just my
your take about it for now.
Yeah. For now, but this is a story we must follow. We just have to stay on the story, and then let us know what is behind it. And then we need to know the identity. There must be a name to that decapitated individual.
The girl. Yeah.
There must be a name. Some family must be troubled tonight that some beloved individual will no longer be returning home. And that is just an archetype for similar losses all over the world.
So I'm glad I'm glad that you didn't highlight the fact that it's a gospel singer or make any extra. It really doesn't matter, right?
We're talking of the heart of man being desperately wicked. It could be a driver.
It's no respect for your religion or your faith.
Or religion or what have you. All kinds of people have done stuff in Nigeria and all over the world. How about the serial killers that we see in America? Have you forgotten? Banned torture and killed BTK in Wichita. Church president, Baba Ijo for that matter, which is a wire relay mustache.
Right.
Even though that be a wire King Sonny Adi. Or two bomb to that be a wire King Sonny Adi. And he was doing that for years and taunting the system and the police until he was eventually caught. What I'm telling you is that you can go by all kinds of vague identity to identify evildoers in the society. Even an editor could be the worst serial killer in the community. Forget what people try to. People try to pretend to be the best, but whether it's William Shakespeare that says there is no heart to know the construct of anybody's heart on the face, or you're talking of the Bible talking of somebody being desperately wicked. One thing that is established is that beyond the veil, things happen. Things happen. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Join the conversation in the chat. That's it for this week. Hopefully you have been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.